All right. Chapter 10 of the art of fascination, binding, sorceries, magical confections, lights, candles, lamps, etc., being the conclusion of the natural magic. We have so far spoken concerning the great virtues and wonderful efficacy of natural things. It remains now that we speak of a wonderful power and faculty of fascination, or more properly, a magical and occult binding of men into love or hatred, sickness or health, also the binding of thieves that they cannot steal in any place, or to bind them that they cannot remove from whence they may be detected, the binding of merchants that they cannot buy nor sell, the binding of an army that they cannot pass over any bounds, the binding of ships so that no wind, though ever so strong, shall be able to carry them out of the harbor, the binding of a mill that it cannot by any means whatsoever be turned to work, the binding of a cistern or fountain that the water cannot be drawn out of them, the binding of the ground so that nothing will bring forth fruit or flourish in it, also that nothing can be built upon it, the binding of fire, that though it be ever so strong, it shall burn no combustible thing that is put to it. Also the binding of lightnings and tempests, that they shall do no hurt. The binding of dogs, that they cannot bark. Also the binding of birds and wild beasts, that they shall not be able to run or fly away, and things similar to these, which are hardly credible, yet known by experience. Now it is that these kind of bindings are made and brought to pass, we must know. They are thus done by sorceries, collieries, unguents, potions, binding and hanging up of talismans, by charms, incantations, strong imaginations, affections, passions, images, characters, enchantments, imprecations, lights, and by sounds, numbers, words, names, invocations, swearings, conjurations, consecrations, and the like of sorceries. The force of sorceries are no doubt very powerful. Indeed, they are able to confound, subvert, consume, and change all inferior things. Likewise, there are sorceries by which we can suspend the faculties of men and beasts. Now, as we have promised, we will shew what some of these is it shew? Yeah, shew what some of these kind of sorceries are, that by the example of these there may be a way open for the whole subject of them. Of these, the first is menstruous blood, which how much power it has in sorcery we will now consider. First, if it comes over new wine, it will turn it sour, and if it does but touch a vine, it will spoil it forever, and by its very touch it renders all plants and trees barren, and those newly set die. It burns up all herbs in the garden, and makes fruit fall from trees. It makes dim the brightness of a looking glass, dulls the edges of knives and razors, dims the beauty of a polished ivory, and makes iron rusty. It likewise makes brass rusty, and to smell very strong. By the taste, it makes dogs run mad, and being thus mad, if they once bite anyone, that wound is incurable. It destroys whole hives of bees and drives them away. If it does but touch them, it makes linen black, that is boiled with it. It makes Mars cast their foals by touching them with it. Is it cast their foals by touching them with it, and women miscarry. It makes asses barren if they eat of the corn touched by it. The ashes of menstruous clothes cast upon purple garments that are to be washed change their color, and likewise take away the color of flowers. It also drives away Tertian and Quartian argues, if it be put into the wool of a black ram and tied up in a silver bracelet, as also in the soles of the patient's feet, be anointed wherewith, and especially if it be done by the woman herself, the patient not knowing what she uses. It likewise cures the falling sickness, but most especially it cures them that are afraid of water or drink after they are bitten by a mad dog. If only a menstruous cloth be put under the cup. Likewise, if a menstruous woman shall walk naked before sunrise in a field or standing corn, all hurtful things perish. But if after sunrise the corn withers, also they are able to expel hail, rain, thunders, and lightnings, more of which Pliny mentions. Know this, that if they happen at the decrease of the moon, they are much greater poison than in the increase, and yet much greater if they happen between the decrease and change. But if they happen in the eclipse of the sun or moon, they are a most incurable and violent poison. But they are of the greatest force when they happen in the first years of the virginity, for then if they but touch the door posts of a house, no mischief can take effect in it. And some say that the threads of any garment touched therewith cannot be burnt, and if they are cast into a fire, it will spread no farther. Also, it is noted that the root of piney being given with castor and smeared over with a menstruous cloth is certainly cureth the falling sickness. Again, let the stomach of a hart be roasted, and to it be put a perfume made with a menstruous cloth. It will make crossbows useless for the killing of any game. The hairs of a menstruous woman put under dung breed serpents, and if they are burnt, will drive away serpents with the fume. So great and powerful a poison is in them that they are a poison to poisonous creatures. We next come to speak of hippomanes, which amongst sorceries are not accounted the least, and this is a little venomous piece of flesh, the size of a fig and black, which is in the forehead of a colt newly foaled, which unless the mare herself doth presently eat, she will hardly ever love her souls, or let them suck, and this is a most powerful filter to cause love, if it be powdered and drank in a cup with the blood of him that is in love. Such a potion was given by Medea to Jason. There is another sorcery which is called hippomanes, viz., a venomous liquor issuing out of the share of a mare at the time she lusts after the horse. The civet cat also abounds with sorceries. For the posts of a door being touched with her blood, the arts of jugglers and sorcerers are so invalid that evil spirits can by no means be called up or compelled to talk with them. This is Pliny's report. Also, those that are anointed with the oil of her left foot, being boiled with the ashes of the ankle bone of the same and the blood of a weasel, shall become odious to all. The same also is to be done with the eye being decocted. If anyone hath a little of the straight gut of this animal about him, and it is bound to the left arm, it is a charm, that if he does not but look upon a woman, it will cause her to follow him at all opportunities, and the skin of this animal's forehead withstands witchcraft. We next come to speak of the blood of a basilisk, which a magicians call the blood of Saturn. This procures by its virtue for him that carries it about him good success of petitions from great men. Likewise makes him amazingly successful in the cure of diseases and the grant of any privilege. They say also that a tyke, if it be taken out of the left ear of a dog, is it a tyke or a tick? I think it's a tyke. And it be altogether black, if the sick person shall answer him that brought it in, and who, standing at his feet, shall ask him concerning his disease, there is certain hope of life, and that he shall die if he make him no answer. They say also that a stone bitten by a mad dog causes discord, if it be put into drinks, and if anyone shall put the tongue of a dog dried into his shoe, or some of the powder, no dog is able to bark at him who hath it. And more powerful this, if the herb hound's tongue be put with it. And the membrane and nope, and the membrane of the succodyne of a bitch does the same. Likewise, dogs will not bark at him who hath the heart of a dog in his pocket. The red toad, Pliny says, living in briars and brambles, is full of sorceries, and is capable of wonderful things. There is a little bone in his left side, which being cast into cold water makes it presently hot, by which also the rage of dogs are restrained, and their love procured, if it be put in their drink, making them faithful and serviceable. If it be bound to a woman, it stirs up lust. On the contrary, the bone which is on the right side makes hot water cold, and it binds it so that no heat can make it hot while it there remains. It is a certain cure for quartans, if it be bound to the sick in the snake's skin, and likewise cures all fevers. The St. Anthony's fire and restrains love and lust, and the spleen and heart are effectual antidotes against the poisons of the said toad. Thus much Pliny writes. Also it is said that the sword with which a man is slain hath wonderful power, for it the snaffle what? For if the snaffle of a bridle or bit or spurs be made of it, with these a horse ever so wild is tamed, and made gentle and obedient. They say, if we dip a sword with which any one was beheaded in wine, that it cures the quartan, the sick being given to drink of it. There is a liquor made, by which men are made of raging and furious as a bear, imagining themselves in every respect to be changed into one. And this is done by dissolving or boiling the brains and heart of that animal in new wine, and giving any one to drink out of a skull. And while the force of the drought operates, he will fancy every living creature to be a bear like to himself. Neither can anything divert or cure him till the fumes and virtue of the liquor are entirely expended, no other distemper being perceivable in him. The most certain cure of a violent headache is to take any herb growing up the top of the head of an image, the same being bound or hung about one with a red thread. It will soon allay the violent pain thereof.